Good afternoon. My name still remains Oyedele Adewale Olamide, aka Freaky Fresh. I'm still on the same subject matter. I'm standing as a contemporary griot in this era. It used to be, but it is no longer again. We don't have the oral performance of poetry. Now, still on the subject matter, spoken word and African poetry, from the Anthology of Thoughts, I'm moving to another poem analysis. The title of this poem is Adolescent Period. It's a sonnet, a poem of 14 lines. I read. The time of young adults, the time we are growing older but younger. The time we live in our dreams. The time we shall never pass through again. The father of adulthood, you are. This is the period that is not the period. This is the period that is not over. The mind is not fully connected to the world. You are only human by birth and inhuman by death. This period is the period of dreams and low instinct. We dream dreams that may later be new to us. Period of a long, short journey lifetime. The past time is part of this time. Life of a long, short, funny journey. Now, I said this poem is a sonnet, and looking at it again, we could see that this poem is just like a Buddha's roman that is telling us how the existence of human starts from its adolescent period to the stage of development. This period is a period where we are not fully connected into the world. It is the poetry is telling us that what? This is a period that we could call ourselves young adults. We are growing, but we are young. Now, I'm moving to the analysis of the poem, Adolescent Period. Firstly, I'll be discussing the theme of the poem. One of the themes of the poem is transition and growth. The poem captures the transition from childhood to adulthood, emphasizing the complexity of this phase. It reflects the mix of innocence and maturity that begins to develop. That is, there is what? A mix of innocence and maturity that becomes what? That begins to develop as time goes on. Because the time of innocence is when you really don't know yourself, or when you really don't know what you are doing. By that time, the mind is not fully built to a state of what? Thinking like an adult. So, to the stage of what? Maturity. Another is what? Dreams and aspiration. Yes? These are the times you always say, I want to become a lawyer, I want to become a doctor, I want to become an engineer, I want to become a pilot, I want to become this and that. This is the time that we have dreams, aspiration, things we aspire for. The period is portrayed as a time filled with dreams, ambition, and idealism. Though these dreams may evolve or change over time. Most of the people that have had those dreams are what? Becoming what? Evolving as time goes on. As from their innocence to their maturity, the dreams becomes what? Evolving. Some people have said that I want to become a medical doctor. At the long run, in the future, they might result into what? Becoming a pharmacist. Now, or a chemistry student. Now, identity and discovery. Adolescence is depicted as a time of self-discovery, where the mind begins to grapple with the broader reality of the world. Yes, this period is a period where you will be saying, I want to become a footballer, I want to become this. That is a period where you'll be able to discover your identity and what? You'll be able to work towards it. Some people have discovered their identity as what? Being a dancer, as being a footballer, and others. Now we have temporal reflection. The poem highlights the transient nature of adolescence, a period we can never turn to, yet one that shapes our future. Fifth, uncertainty and duality. The juxtaposition of being older but younger, and human by birth and inhuman by death, underlines the uncertainty and contradiction of this stage of life. Yes, the stage is not certain. So there's a juxtaposition of birth and death, older and what? Younger, as one of the themes of the poem. Now, I'm going to discuss the subject matter. The subject matter of the poem. The subject matter revolves around adolescence as a unique phase of life. It is a unique phase of life because you are going to recall on that stage. You are going to remember things that you've done that you were not supposed to do due to what that adolescent trait in you. Now, it reflects the emotional, psychological, and social experience of young adults as they navigate a what? A world of possibility and changes. Now, the poem delves into the journey of growing up, especially the dreams, connections, and reflection tied to this what? Transformative what? Period. Now, we could see that what? People like Booker T. Washington were what? Telling us about their experience as a black American through what? Through their adolescent period to their what? To their adulthood. Now, the background of the poem. The poem appears to be inspired by a personal or a universal reflection on adolescence. It encapsulates the writer's contemplation of the fleeting yet impactful nature of this stage of life. The nostalgic tone suggests an understanding of its importance in shaping identity and future of what? Aspiration. Now, I'll be moving to the literary devices because there's no way you write a poem that the poem is not going to have literary device or devices. Now, one of the literary devices that has been used or that is used in the poem is repetition. The word period is repeated to emphasize central theme of adolescence and its cyclical yet fleeting nature. The word what? Period. That period is what? A repetition. Another what? Another poetic device that is being used is juxtaposition. Phrases like older but younger and long short journey create contrast that highlight the complexity of what? Adolescence. Personification. Adolescent is personified as the father of what? Adulthood. Yes, it comes before adulthood. So it is what? The father of what? Adulthood. Attributing a guiding foundational role on this stage. Another feature used is what? Paradox. Literary devices. We have paradox. The poem uses paradoxical statements such as this is the period that is not the period. Yes, to reflect the confusion and duality of adolescence. It is the period that is not the period. Yes. Imagery. The poet employs vivid imagery to depict the adolescent phase, evoking a sense of both nostalgia and forward-looking dreams. You have this sense of nostalgia, where you'll be thinking that, oh, this period is something that has what came before. Now, alliteration, yes, this is a common literary device in poem. Phrases like life of a long, short, funny journey employs alliteration to create rhythmic and flow. Life of long, LL. Now we have types of what? Poetry. I said it initially that this poem is a sonnet, a poem of 14 lines. But looking at the rhyming scheme, we could call this poem the type of poem falls under the category of lyrical poetry. It looks like a lyric, as it expresses personal emotions and reflections on adolescence in a rhythmic and contemplative manner. It can also be considered philosophical poetry, that is philosophy of life, due to its exploration of abstract ideas like time, identity, and existence. Yes, there are exploration of what? Abstract ideas used in the poem. Now, the overall reflection about the poem. I would say the poem poignantly captures the essence of adolescence as a time of profound growth, introspection, and transformation. It invites readers to reminisce about this unique phase and appreciate its impact on shaping one's journey through life. Yes, it makes one to reminisce. That is, you have this feeling of nostalgic. Now, this poem is a poem that everyone should be connected to because it is a poem of adolescent period. But I will still urge you, I will still tell you guys to still go and read more, or you find out about the word Bildungsroman and read more about that Bildungsroman. So you'll be able to get what this poem is really talking about. So I want you to comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I want us to always discuss this poetry together. The adolescent period. I want you to bring your own idea about the theme, you comment below, the theme of the poem, the literary device of the poem, the subject matter of the poem, and what? The background of the poem, and the type of poetry you think this poetry is going to fall into or it falls into. Thank you for taking your time to watch it. My name is still Oyedele Adewale Olamide, aka Freaky Fresh. Thank you once more.